Do you know where your life is really heading? Most people don't until they have a clear blueprint, because without a map, we end up wandering aimlessly, never reaching our true potential or feeling fulfilled in what we do. And that's why in this video, I'm going to share the simple 4-step framework I've successfully used to help others identify the exact steps to achieve their goals. So to start, let me show you how you can create a purpose that's truly authentic to you, so you don't waste years chasing the wrong thing. Now, most people struggle to find their true purpose because they're chasing something that doesn't align with who they really are. And one person who doesn't really have this problem is Ichigo Kurosaki from Bleach. See, Ichigo is known for his incredible power as a Soul Reaper. But what's fascinating is that he never chased power or titles. All he ever wanted was the strength to protect the people that he loves. From the Soul Society arc to the 1,000-Year Blood War, this simple but authentic desire is what drove Ichigo to heights that others really couldn't even imagine. So how can we find our own authentic purpose just like Ichigo? Well, here's a simple way to start. First, identify your passions. Take just 10 minutes and list 3 to 5 different activities or topics that really excite you. Reflect briefly on why they resonate so deeply with you. For example, my passions are God, anime, and personal development, in case you couldn't really tell. Second, I want you to engage intentionally with these things. Choose one of these passions and commit to exploring it this week. I mean, if you love cooking, try a new recipe, take a cooking class, or even join a community about cooking. And honestly, Reddit is a great place for this. Next, I want you to reflect on authentic moments. Think of times when you truly felt alive and completely yourself. How can you bring more of these moments into your daily routine? Once you discover your authentic purpose, the next step is to become the person who can actually achieve it. But how do you do that? See, most of us shy away from personal growth because, honestly, it can feel pretty uncomfortable. But if we always run away from discomfort, we'll never become who we're truly meant to be. Then let me show you what I mean using Izuku Midoriya from My Hero Academia. See, Izuku grew up pretty powerless in a world completely filled with heroes. But despite feeling uncomfortable and insecure, he kept stepping up when it mattered most. He didn't let fear stop him from becoming the hero that he knew he could be. And Izuku's story shows us that discomfort isn't something to avoid, it's something we need to embrace to grow. But how can you and I actually do this in our own lives? Well, first, we have to acknowledge that discomfort is a part of growth. Think of a recent situation where you felt pretty uncomfortable, but you pushed through it anyway. Like anxiety before a presentation or meeting new people. Write down those moments and recognize that discomfort means that you're actually growing into something. Next, I want you to reframe discomfort as something, well, positive. Turn uncomfortable feelings into some pretty powerful affirmations. For example, instead of saying I'm anxious about trying something new, say something like, this anxiety means that I'm pushing my boundaries and I'm actually growing as a person. Personally, this reframing helped me become much more comfortable speaking publicly, whether that's when I volunteer at the local jails, when I'm sitting here talking to you guys, or whatever the case may be. It's truly become a huge game changer in my life. And third, I want you to remind yourself daily of how capable you are. Each day, remind yourself that growth comes from facing challenges head on, that you are capable of overcoming this discomfort, and every step you take forward is really just making you stronger. Now, growing as a person is pretty amazing, but it can sometimes feel lonely. That's why the next part of my system will help you find the right people to support you on this journey. Now, they say you become like the 5 people you spend the most time with. And that's why choosing your inner circle wisely is so important, because your relationships shape who you become. For example, consider Aang from Avatar: The Last Airbender. Aang had the monumental task of mastering all 4 elements to defeat the Fire Lord, which was an incredible challenge, especially for a 12-year-old boy, or 112-year-old man, I guess. What matters here is that Aang wasn't alone. He surrounded himself with friends and mentors who didn't just teach him, they grew alongside of him. And each friend brought unique strengths and insights, forming deep bonds that carried them throughout these countless challenges. And because of his powerful support system, Aang became the avatar he needed to be. And his story shows clearly that the right people around you can transform who you become. But how can we practically build a strong circle of influence in our own lives? First, I want you to identify potential mentors. Think of someone you admire, maybe a colleague, a teacher, or a friend who could have a positive influence over your life and over your growth. And I want you to write down their name and why you think that they make a great mentor for you. Next, I want you to reach out to them and be intentional about it. Send a simple message just expressing your genuine appreciation for their work, advice, or even just their friendship. And ask if they'd be open to chatting about their experiences sometimes. And third, I want you to offer some value in return. Remember, relationships are a two-way street, and this is no different. So think about how you can help them with your own skills, insights, or just simply by offering them encouragement and support when they need it as well. Finding the right people to journey with can be pretty challenging, but it's incredibly rewarding. Still, even with the right relationships, you might sometimes feel stuck. And that's why in this next part, I'm going to show you why feeling stuck is actually a clear sign that you're on the right track. Now, when pursuing growth and success, it's easy to fall into the trap of being impatient, thinking things like, oh man, I want these results right now. Or why isn't this happening faster than it is? But if you let these negative thoughts take hold of you, you'll stop moving forward before you even notice. Now, a perfect example of this is Isagi Yoichi and his rivalry with Ren Itoshi from Blue Lock. Now, ever since Ren appeared, Isagi has found himself constantly overshadowed. Ren clearly outclassed him in every single area, yet Isagi still boldly decided to make Ren his rival anyway. And despite being completely overwhelmed in their first match and losing again after giving everything he had in their second game, Isagi still didn't despair. Instead, he recognized how much he had grown in such a short period of time, and he used his defeats as, well, fuel, understanding that proactive growth and consistent effort would eventually pay off in the end. So how can we apply Isagi's mindset to our own journeys and goals? Well, first, I want you just to reflect on the progress you've already made. Take 5 minutes to just think about how you got to where you are right now. Ask yourself some simple questions like, what challenges have I faced before? How did I overcome them? And how have they prepared me for what I'm facing right now? Write down your answers and just remind yourself of these past victories and the growth you've had. Next, identify your next step pretty clearly. Choose one area of your life where you're feeling stuck or uncertain, and then pick one small proactive action that you can take today, like reaching out to a mentor, signing up for a class to help your skills, or just starting a new project that you've been putting off for weeks. And then third, I want you to commit to being consistent. Set a simple goal to take at least one small step every single day, and no matter how small it feels. And just remember that every single step forward counts, even if it doesn't immediately feel like progress. Now, taking risk and understanding that every small step matters is essential to mastering your life and achieving your goals. But the thing is, even if you follow this blueprint exactly, there's still one thing you need to master, otherwise none of this will work. So watch this next video where I'll clearly show you how understanding what goals to set and the best environment for you to work in are the missing pieces you've been looking for, and how mastering them can finally help you get your breakthrough.